G'day everyone. How's everyone doing? So I'm here to do a 3 biggest traps in each line for your starting team. So I'm going to base this off ownership. I mean, it wouldn't make much sense to go, oh, Dylan Grimes is a trap. Can't be doing that. No one's picking him. So I've just knocked off work, got basketball coaching in an hour, so I need to smash this out because I won't have time on the weekend to do this. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So we'll start from the back line. And disclaimer, this is just my opinion. So if you want to start them regardless, feel free. This is just my honest opinion of players that I would recommend avoiding in your starting team by this date. So what's the date? 4th of Feb. So there's still plenty of water to go under the bridge, but we'll see how we go. So in the back line, so I've got 3 names in each line that I'm going to go over, and they're going to be based off popularity. So the first one here, again, I should type it out, but Caleb Daniel. Now, he was switched into a bit of a different role. So what is he, 7% owned? So yeah, not a whole heap of jumping on board the Caleb Daniel train. But I just think Caleb Daniel, I just think there's better options out there for his price. I mean, 6K less, you're getting Lockie Whitfield. So Caleb Daniel, such a reliable SuperCoach player throughout the years, but at the minute we don't know his role particularly. You know, last year was thrown off on the half forward line on the wing every now and then. So certainly a different role for Caleb Daniel, and Bailey Dale seems to be the man now down back doing his role. And I mean, he did a fantastic job, got all Australian, Bailey Dale. But yeah, so that would be Caleb Daniel for me as one of them. So as I said, I'm just going to type it out. We got a young hawk here. Oh, the old SuperCoach is bugging up a bit today. Well, that's just confusing. Okay. Well, yeah, there we go. Will Day. So Will Day, sensational young player for the Hawks. Definitely a bright spot for them. In terms of SuperCoach, I'm not too sure. I think he was something like 15% owned. My SuperCoach could, 15% owned. So the deal with him is, at the minute, there's a lot of mouths to feed in that Hawthorn defence. You've got Sicily coming back. You've got Jaff who can intercept. You've got Scrimshaw, Impey can intercept. Hardwick, even Frost can do it every now and then. So, and he's not exactly cheap. He's basically the middest of mid-pricer prices. I think Will Day, sensational young talent for the Hawks, but in terms of a SuperCoach option, I'm not too sure. I think you're better off picking a rookie. And what's the most he can make realistically? He could probably get to about 430K. And there's another thing that he's in the rehab group currently with Hawthorn, so that's another dodgy situation for him. So I personally wouldn't pick him. If you want to pick him, feel free, but I just think there's better options out there. And now I've got Tom Stewart as a starting pick. So he's very expensive, and for good reason, because, he's been so consistent throughout the years. I didn't have him last year, and that killed me. If I had Stewart, my backline would have been perfect. But yeah, I didn't have Stewart last year. But the reason you wouldn't go for him, I think, he's the second or third most expensive defender in the game, and he's coming back from a foot injury. I don't know what it's called exactly, but it's meant to be 6 months to recover from. He's doing pretty well apparently, but I wouldn't go for him. He's certainly an upgrade target, but coming back from that injury plus that price, Aaron Hall's 13K cheaper, and his ceiling's just a lot higher than Stewart's. So yeah, I'd avoid Tom Stewart personally. So yeah, there we go. Now in the midfield, I've got Maddie Rowe for the Suns, the golden boy at the Suns. He's a very good player when he's up and about. We saw that in the first 5 games of his career until he got struck down at the Cattery with his shoulder. So Rowe's just at that price where, Jared Berry's 80k cheaper, and obviously Rowe can be a better player than Berry, but I think you'd rather just go with him or go with a rookie. You're better off doing that. Or if you can shed some money elsewhere, upgrade him to Lockie Neal. I think if Rowe was 100k cheaper, I would certainly look at it. But since he's just at a really awkward price, and he didn't really set the world on fire when he came back last year, but obviously he was probably, coming back from that injury. So he's a wait and see, I reckon, because he's, we don't really know how he's going to play. And obviously we don't know how any of these players are going to play, but we can only speculate. So I just think, there's better options out there. The midfield was actually pretty tricky to find a few traps. But I've gone with Jai Caldwell. He's a talented young player. There's a lot of mouths to feed in that Essendon midfield. And, I'm just worried that, is he going to just be this half-forward winger? He might not go a whole heap in coin. And he had a serious injury last year. So you got Stringer, you got Parrish, you got the new boy Hobbs, got Shield, Merritt. There's a couple of names I'm forgetting, but there really is a lot of Parrish. There's a lot of different players for Essendon using that midfield. And I think when the time comes, second half, they're down by 15 points. They need their best midfielders at the centre bounce. I'm not really sure if Caldwell gets anywhere close in that situation, to be honest. And then Paddy Cripps for the Blues. Burnt me last year massively. I think it was like he was 523k last year, and it was very well owned. But now he's 454k, and so he's a lot cheaper, but he's a lot less owned, probably because everyone went for him last year, got burnt, and don't want to pick him again. And I don't blame him, because we don't know what's going on with Carlton, because Cripps was seemingly ready to go last year. And then we hear Carlton, I think after the loss against Collingwood, oh, well, we've been giving him injections to get through games. And everyone just went, yeah, fantastic. Thanks for telling us. So he was injured without knowing. So, Cripps, he burnt me last year. That's probably the reason he's on here. But I think just try to shed money elsewhere and get Lockie Neal, to be honest. I just wouldn't go with the pick at all. I don't recommend it. So, now heading into the ruck. The ruck's a little tricky because I think there's only like 13 players with 5% ownership. Yep. So, a couple of them are deep cuts, but yeah, Jared Witts. He doesn't seem like he's going to be ready for round 1. I think I saw a report where the Sun's saying, he's getting there, but is he going to be there round 1? Yeah, I doubt it. And he's not cheap. Well, I guess he is for his ability, but he's never averaged 100 in his career. And I think if you're not going set and forget, surely just pick Bruce or Max Lynch from Hawthorn. I think they're the two options. I think Witts doesn't really get you anywhere, So I wouldn't go with Jared Witts. I would avoid that personally. We have got Luke Jackson from Melbourne. He's going to be an absolute superstar. Is he ready for being SuperCoach relevant yet? I doubt it. While Gawn's here, I think he's going to he's going to spend most of his time down forward. He'll get some more opportunity as Gawn. As Gawn gets a bit older, the body's done right for the last couple of years. But I think Jackson's super talent. But again, there's just better options. I think you've got Big Prosy if you want to go. If you don't want to go set and forget. So Luke Jackson, I personally wouldn't pick him. And then at 5%, Sam Draper burnt me last year. Seems to be a common theme here. But so here's the thing with these three ruckmen. They're just not cheap enough to where, they're screaming out, pick me, pick me. I mean, a few people are picking them, but Draper burnt me last year. I had him in my starting team. I didn't go set and forget. I went with old Draper and Gawn, I believe. So that was fun. Oh no, Grundy and Draper. So not having Gawn during that period really hurt me and cost me quite a bit last year. So I think, my honest opinion, I think set and forget is certainly the way to go. But if you're not going to do that personally, I think you've got to go with Big Braden Bruce in the ruck. Now, forward. This one might be controversial because there has been quite a few talks recently that he's just firing on all cylinders. Dustin Martin. So Dustin Martin obviously had a kidney, I don't know, how do you call it? Ruptured his kidney. And he missed the rest of the year. That was from the Brisbane game up in Gold Coast, I believe. So, the thing is, throughout the years, he's been an all right starting pick. But there's just a bit of unknown about him in terms of how are Richmond going to go? Is he going to be playing full-time mid? He'll obviously get switched around. But I think Dusty, he's just, I personally wouldn't pick him. He's certainly an upgrade target throughout the years, but I think at the minute, for your starting team, I wouldn't personally go for it. At the start, when we heard about Tim Taranto moving into changing positions in SuperCoach as a forward, we thought, geez, he could be a really good, nice option. But then we hear Toby Green suspended for 6 weeks, so you'll miss the first 5 rounds next year. And then we hear Leon Cameron going, right, I reckon Tim Taranto could fill the void of Toby Green brilliantly down forward. So for the first 5 rounds, it seems like he's going to play more forward than mid. And he's going to play that role that he did last year a bit. And that's just a big red flag if I've ever seen one. So Tim Taranto, great player when he's up and going, but maybe an upgrade target once Toby Green comes back as a starting pick. I think there just might be better options. And now finally, Adam Treloar for the Doggies. Adam Treloar made the move in 2021 to go to the Dogs. But there is a lot of spots up for. There's a lot of spots taken in that Dogs midfield where I just think Treloar's going to be a winger. We know about his hamstring history. Normally throughout the year we hear he's done the string or, there's a bit of soreness in that hamstring. So I think because of that, I think Treloar maybe one of the last couple of upgrade targets in the forward line. But as well, there's been DPP added throughout the season. So we get to hear if, for example, if Fife's playing 35% down forward, then he's going to be changing to a mid-forward. So I think even then, the last couple of upgrades, there might be a couple of mids currently in the midfield that could go down forward and they might look a bit juicier than Adam Treloar would. So there you go. So those are my 3 players from each line who I would personally not pick in your starting side. You're more than welcome to. This is just my opinion. So anyway, thanks for listening. Just a quick video. What's the time? Yeah, so I've got to have a share and get running. So thanks for paying attention, everyone. Hope everyone enjoyed. Like and subscribe would be very appreciated. So cheers. Have a good one.